What is up, you guys? Marty McFly coming at you, bringing you guys the merch. Welcome back to Headbangers Ball. Today, we're going to talk about one album in particular. In St. Petersburg, Tampa area today, we have the St. Pete Craft Beer Festival, so that's where I'll be at today, as well as Savers St. Pete. Meeting up with a bunch of the brewers. There's some metalheads that come out there that way too, so I'll be there for the most of the day. But I wanted to talk about one record in particular. And as you can see, we still have some of the Halloween stuff still out. This was recorded a little bit later, but I wanted to talk about one record in particular. This record, I'm sure you guys saw coming, made a huge impact in the heavy metal community, deathcore, heavy music, metalcore, death metal, everything. Made a huge impact. This band has exploded on the scene, especially in the last couple of years. I've been listening to these guys for a long time, since before, right around the Flesh Coffin days. But us, of course, is none other than Lorna Shore with the new record, Pain Remains. This album has made a magnanimous impact in the heavy music community. Anyone who knows that Will Ramos is the new lead singer, they've added a lot more melodic touches to their music, and it really is a perfect album. I hate to say it, actually I don't hate to say it, but it's going to be in my top 10 favorite albums of this year. It's just so wonderfully crafted. Every song, in composition to the average songs today, 3 minutes, every song is longer, heavy emphasis on guitar work, breakdowns, Will Ramos's gutturals and his highs, lows, everything, but heavy emphasis on the melodic and more emotional approaches to deathcore. This is not the first band to take that approach, but this band is the one that's exploded on the scene, especially in the last couple years since Will Ramos took over. I love the last couple of records that they released. I loved Immortal. I loved Flesh Coffin, even going back to their first album. Anyone who knows them, they've gone through a couple lineup changes, including CJ McCreary for lead singers, and then Mr. Barber himself, of course. But now we're with Will Ramos. I was very happy to get to see these guys live. If you have the opportunity to see them live, please go do so. It really was a game-changing show for me, for the crowd. In the background right now, please excuse the commercial, but we're listening to the newest LP from Worm. It's a 4-song EP. My apologies. About 25 minutes, which is about what an average record is anyways, but it's 4 tracks. Amazing, amazing death gloom, a little bit of, Chuck Schuldiner death worship. Overall, a beautiful EP. I pre-ordered mine. I'm still waiting for it to come from 20 Bucks Spin, but they said it should be here shortly, and we'll do a review on that in a little bit. But waiting on that to come in the mail on LP. Anyway, back to the goodness. So yeah, Lorna Shore, new lead singer Will Ramos. If you get the opportunity to see these guys live, please do. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the encore was something I was sort of expecting, but not really. It's not very often a deathcore band's going to do an encore the way they did theirs, but really, it really was an emotional and cathartic experience to see this band play. And this album is no exception. The ending trilogy, Pain Remains. Listen to it from beginning to end. Don't take breaks. Just sit there and listen, whether you're at the gym, in the car, at home. You need to listen to it. I mean, there are videos of grown men crying on YouTube listening to the ending trilogy. You know what? I cry with my pre-workout like every other guy, so I will agree it's an emotional experience listening to the last 3 tracks, and you need to sit there and you need to enjoy it. I couldn't recommend it enough. I had this on CD in the car as well. I haven't taken it out of the CD player in the car since I bought it. Overall, just every time I listen to it, I hear something new and I hear something challenging. Will Ramos's highs, his lows, his guttural vocals, truly a melodic experience for this album. The LP was very hard to get. I pre-ordered this way before it came out, and then they ran out of pre-orders, so I had to pre-order it a second time because I knew it wasn't going to come in. So Amazon got some new copies. Actually, I was able to get that right away. Came in a couple of days. Really glad I got it because, like all things, the pre-orders for this vinyl's going through the roof. Now that people are pre-ordering and making a business off of it, the prices for this skyrocketed. I saw this as high as $100 on eBay and Amazon. People trying to resell this, trying to make a quick buck. It's kind of unfortunate, but you know what? Enjoy it. Just listen to it any way you can. I can't recommend it enough. So this comes on 180-gram black vinyl, custom center rings with Pain Remains. Just, I can't say enough good things about it. It's very rare that I get, kind of like this with albums, but here's your gatefold. Pretty dark, pretty bleak. If you've, you know, so here is our custom insert, the lyric sheet. Now, about seeing these guys live. Interesting. So, anyone who knows their last EP and are returning to nothingness knows the very first track on there is called To the Hellfire. This song got really big because Will Ramos decided to make some squeals and some growls that sounded like he was strangling Daffy Duck. And that's exactly what I sounded like. That's what my comment on YouTube was. I was surprised because the comment on YouTube got over 1,000 likes for just saying he sounded like he was strangling Daffy Duck. But that's what got them big. Seeing them live was interesting. I've seen more girls at that deathcore show than I've ever seen at a death metal show in my entire life, and I think it's because Will Ramos, whatever. He's a good-looking dude. He's an amazing guy. He's super friendly. I didn't get a chance to meet him after the show. I don't think the band really came out. I think they went back to their bus after the show. So unfortunately, I didn't get him to sign anything. The line for the T-shirts was about 45 minutes. People missed other bands just because they're waiting in line for a T-shirt. It's totally insane. But yeah, Will Ramos, cool guy. If you watch the skateboarding videos, stuff like that, it's awesome. But I saw more girls at this show just to go see him. They didn't know anything about their music. They didn't know any of their older stuff, their newer stuff. They just knew To the Hellfire, and they just knew Will Ramos. So way more, girls getting into the death metal scene. I think that's cool. I mean, just more people that are getting more shows. This was sold out over a month in advance, so I had to buy resale tickets because I took too long to buy my tickets. It's at the New Orpheum. If you know the New Orpheum, it's in a rough location in Nebraska Avenue in the Tampa area. If you know Tampa, if you know USF, you know Nebraska Avenue. There's like 30 parking spots in the entire area, which is unfortunate because everybody had to park about a mile away. I myself did. I had to park at Sound Exchange in the parking lot. Not the greatest part of town. Everyone walked in groups, so it was actually okay walking home. Most people Ubered to like the local Walmart, somewhere else. Some people knew the parking around there, but it is very tower friendly there, so people do get towed every once in a while. But the New Frame location, they opened up a back lot with a outdoor stage, which I think really made a big difference for this band. Everybody got to jump in the pit, walls of death, you know, crowd surfing, everything. Really a amazing show. The weird thing though, just like I kind of imagined, like I said, the ending encore, unreal. Just was not expecting it, but it felt like almost like I was going to a Journey show where everyone's waiting for "Don't Stop Believing," because then at this show everybody was waiting for "To the Hellfire" and the Daffy Duck strangling sounds, and that's what everybody knew. That's what everybody was there for. And then all of a sudden the vibe changed after that song, which is kind of annoying because the rest of the concert was absolutely incredible. So go see this band. Yeah, To the Hellfire, you're gonna hear it, but wait for that ending. Wait for that encore. It really was a game changer for heavy music for me, for concerts in general. The rest of the set list for this band, oh my goodness. I mean, we had Of Sulfur, we had Angel Maker, we had Aborted, we had Ingested. Absolute killer show. Lots of breakdowns, lots of walls of death. I myself joined in and ended up with back pain the next day, which is what happens when you go to concerts over the age of 30 and you try to mosh. Really was an incredible show. I met all the guys from all the bands afterwards. The guys from Of Sulfur, Angel Maker, Ingested. Ingested's from the UK. Those guys were super friendly, super nice. I saw them back in January when they were in the Tampa, Florida playing at Crowbar with Enterprise Earth and Fit for an Autopsy. Super cool guys. The guys from Aborted jumped in the mosh pit and moshed with us. Total titans of the death metal scene. Really, if you can get a chance to go to the Pain Remains tour, if there's still tour dates, please go. I know it's sold out. It's worth the money in the long run. But I had to talk about this new record by Lorna Shore, Pain Remains. It really was. I think it's going to be another game changer in the deathcore area. I mean, it's very melodic, but a lot of other bands have done this, and I think I'm going to do a video talking about the Blue album era of deathcore because I've noticed within the last year we've had a lot of blue-centered albums on the cover, and all of them have focused on melodics and really bringing out the emotional catharsis um, on their records themselves. So notable, I mean, Whitechapel's Kin, Blue album, Angel Maker's new album, Sanctum, Blue album, the new Varial's album, Blue album, Enterprise Earth, Blue album. So I kind of want to talk about those in another video, but when I think of melodic, I mean, there's a lot of bands that are doing it, but I have to give a huge shout out to the guys in In Dying Arms. originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I met them up in Erie, Pennsylvania when their bus broke down. All around amazing dudes. Orion, he's a great guy. I got the band to sign all my stuff. At a McDonald's, it was like 8 degrees outside, snow, the works. But when I think of melodic deathcore, that's the first thing that always came to my mind was the guys in Dying Arms. They got a couple new songs that coming out right now. But I think the trend is just going to keep going towards this melodic deathcore, and I'm all about it. I mean, I think Whitechapel maybe have popularized it a little bit more, but when I think of the guys that were doing it a while back, I mean, even going back to Dead Water Drowning, going way back, they did a little bit of the melodic stuff, not singing, but when I'm thinking of like the way things are going, I got a big shout out to In Dying Arms. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me. I can't say enough good things about the new Lorna Shore record. I'm not going to go cry on YouTube like half the other audience. They did that for me. So if you really do want, you need to go and jam to this record. Just spend some time with it. If you can get your hands on the vinyl copy, do it. It's just going to keep getting more expensive, unfortunately, because people are going to want to buy it. Then they're going to resell it on eBay for quadruple the price. It's just the way things are. If you can pick up the CD or do something, I recommend just picking it up, listing it, go see them live. It really was an altogether amazing experience. So, just want to say thank you guys. I'm going to be going off to the St. Pete Craft Beer Festival. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and take care of each other out there. Cheers.